Almost there. Hello. It's getting so dry in here. I got space heaters like pointing in at me. I'm Linda with Seaporium. We're in the far west end of Main Street in Hyannis on Cape Cod. If you're in the area, please come and say hello. If not, you know what? You've got a way to find us. There's a link in the description. And we have these other avenues as well. There's Seaporium.com. Put /collections to go right to shopping. And then choose new releases if you want to see what's left for holiday items. The only thing I have left for holiday is the pumpkins and maybe one ginger and spice. Maybe not. I sold my last Christmas tree. But bear with me, I have a customer that that requested, and it's been a hot minute, so I need to check in with her. I might have an Christmas tree, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but it's possible. But that's it, okay? It's easy to find us on all the avenues because we're the only Seaporium. Yay! It's Facebook.com/Seaporium, Twitter.com, well, is it X.com/Seaporium. Now, and TikTok, same thing. YouTube, you have to put /@Seaporium, whatever. And if I don't see your comment, please don't take it to heart because it doesn't always show me all the comments. And we are streaming on our Facebook page, on our website, in YouTube. Yay! And we just got done. I've been talking for over an hour. I went over again. I tend to go over on IODTV. It just didn't seem like enough of a project to do one. Like, you don't want to sit here and watch me paint a gingerbread, not on IODTV, not when I can give you two different ideas, right? So let me show you something here. Okay, so we have this, you guys. Yay. I didn't zoom this in. All right, hold on, because I took my phone down to share it. So hold on, I got to zoom in a little bit. And then we got to change the angle. Okay. Isn't that cute? So we did, I talked about this in the IODTV. It's a sanded piece of spare wood. It's actually a pallet. It's a wide pallet though. And on the other side you can see, okay, I did do, after I sanded it and I cleaned it with rubbing alcohol, you can use denatured alcohol. You can use white lightning, but white lightning is a lot of water for fresh wood. All right, I did plug the holes and I hit it with Dixie mud on this side, but it's a little bumpy because, I was rushing things as usual. I might try and touch that up a little bit, but I'm going to also try and distress this a little bit more. After I did the prep and everything, I did the Voodoo Gel Stained Tobacco Road. I sealed it in clear gloss because I did want to do this as a distress piece. So we get some of the wood to kind of come through. It's kind of like my thing with this look, I guess. Either I like glam or I like rustic, right? And then we did the mold. This is ginger and spice mold. It has the gingerbread men, but it also has the cute little Scotty. All right. And there's many different things that we can do now. Like we could add like a ribbon bow on here. We could maybe add, I was trying to think how we could add the paw prints. That's always possible, but I might have to paint them because the ones I like to do are with the fleur-de-lis mold. There's like 3 or 4 different sizes of hearts, and I make a paw print with those, but it'll be too much for this. So I think this will look really cute, just like that. Maybe we'll use a ribbon to tie it up. And that, maybe a little vintage texture stamp for a little crackle. Distress, it could happen. All right. And then, if you've seen me do plenty of molds, if not, you can, go back on our previous posts or go back on our playlist on our website if you're there. But I'm not going to stick around forever. But the molds are simple, right? You just you press the clay in, and well, we'll do it really quick. If you're new to watching me, this is how it's done, okay? Paper clay, air dry. This is the air dry clay. It's from Iron Orchid Designs. I feel it is the best. It's the least likely to crack on you. It stays together really well. There's like a binder to it that a lot of paper clays just seem to be missing. And I take a little cornstarch. Arrowroot powder works as well. And I've heard baby powder, but I can't attest to it. You don't want to use flour though. And you just take a little bit of your clay, you know, a lot for her. But we have measurements. It'll tell you if you need to plan out how much clay you need. It'll tell you that you need, for her, 60 grams of clay or 44 milliliters. All right. Scotty doesn't need that much. All of them have their individual measurements, so you know how to plan if you need to. I'm never that put together. I mean, when I'm pouring resin, I do take a time and say, well, I want at least, for 44, I want at least 22 milliliters each of part A and part B. And you want to make sure you're using the quick set resin, unless you're doing it on purpose and you have time for it to sit in the mold for a few days. But that way you can add pigments because it'll be clear, right? It'll be a clear pouring resin, and you could do fun things. Excuse me. And we're going to pop them out. Easy peasy. I wish he was symmetrical. I wish there was another one and that we could face him to, front to back, but that's not the case. So that's how that happened, and then we're going to use where did it go? My glue. Any wood glue would work, but we do prefer to use the Tight Bond Quick and Thick. Let me get some water. It's just one of those nights. All right. So we turn them upside down. We get our glue. And if you can store it upside down, okay, that's all the better. I didn't put him back in there the right way, but that's not too bad. He's not too empty. So I'm going to have to get some more soon, though. It's that time of year, right? We're all getting ready for crafting. And craft fairs and the holidays and gifting and lots going on, isn't there? All right, so I don't like to put a ton on. Some areas I think are probably a little too much. I'm just going to smooth out some of this. It's, I guess, in a perfect world, if you can get enough glue on that when you press it down, it squeezes out to the edges and makes its own like caulk. Or, you're going to have to plan on caulking. All right, so carefully, without messing up our details, the beautiful, like look at these, like the little Scotty sweater and the little texture on his, like he doesn't have all out fur, but he does have some texture to him. And we're just going to eyeball center. And here's the important part, okay? When we're gluing them down, any mold, you want to not only press down, right, without, messing up those pretty details, but we want to also press it in on itself, right? This way, because all that stretching we did, pulling the clay in the mold and then pulling them out and gluing them and turning them around, and that's all kind of adding a stress to the clay. And apparently clay has memory. Who knew? So it likes to go back to where it was. So if you push back in on itself, I'm just getting rid of a little dollop of glue there. See, if you get too much glue underneath, then you get, you know, little puddles at the edge. A little bit isn't bad, but I don't like having a lot. It does dry clear, but you know what? You do see it. Okay, you do. And then a lot of times I'll take little tools around me and use it to help push it down, make sure that everything's getting, instead of pressing down with my finger really hard and losing the sweater details, I'll take like a little bit of a tool in parts, okay, which makes sense to kind of make sure that when we're pressing down, okay, we're not losing the details. We can add a little pressure there without, and we can create, you know, if we did kind of mush up some of the details, we can add more. All right, we can add them back if you want. Like, let's see, no, this way. So I have this, I can add, you know, maybe a little more hair look to it by scratching a little bit more. There is some, okay. But we can add more. You know, at your own discretion, and you know, you do this maybe first to some degree and see if you like it before you glue it down, and then you can just redo the mold, right? And again, just kind of give it there. Now over the next, till I leave tonight, I can kind of revisit this. If it looks like it's lifting in a spot, right, I can make sure that it sets down nice. And then overnight, it'll do what it does, okay? If it does lift up, that's okay. We can put a little bead of caulk around it if we want. And if it gets a crack, we'll take like a really fine amount of that clay, right, a little tiny tube. We take that glue, put it in the crack. And then we take our clay, we put it inside that crack, and then take like a toothpick or a little tool and push it down and maybe join up, you know, wherever, or smooth out, and make sure that the crack looks like it was never there, okay? And we'll just take like a little ribbon and then that'll be that. So this one, to paint it, we can do a little paint, even though that's obviously wet clay. I like to paint them first. Some people think it actually helps, you know, with the cracking. You don't get as much cracking if you can get a, you know, a seal coat of paint on there. But I don't do like my top coat, because tomorrow, like I said, we might have to fix it a little bit, and then we'll touch up with our paint, and then we can seal it after that's dry. So let's see, probably like a, you know what we could do? Let's just, you know what we're going to do? We're going to let this dry, because I'm going to do a wash. I'm going to leave him white, okay? I'm not going to, I think, or should I do the sweater red and wipe over with the white? Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's be fun. So I have a little bit of honky tonk red. And this is where you're going to want to wear your reading glasses if you need to, because, you know, just saying. Just saying. All right. I do have palettes, but it's just that I'm going to be bad. And I'm going to take a fine brush, a pretty fine brush, because it is just the sweater. All right. And we're going to Now, if you're careful, before you glue them down, you can kind of do your sides so you don't have to worry about meeting up right to the base. You don't have to worry about making a mess of your base. Okay. Super easy to do. Fun. It's a good thing for the family to do. You might want to have it sealed before you have them do this part though. You know, do up to here and then give everything a good coat of seal, and then, you know, like top coat, like clear coat. And let that dry. You can go make some popcorn garland or something fun, right? Make some cookies. And then come back and do this. Maybe still hit it with the blow dryer, but you know what I'm saying. You have your favorite movie on. It's kind of therapeutic, not going to lie. If I'm not talking, it's because I'm kind of getting into it. And I really should have my glasses on, but it's funny that happens to us, right? Gotta have the glasses now. At least at my age. And then if you're not my age, you wait. The very, very few get by without. And here I am holding my breath again. I don't know why I do that when I'm concentrating. Does anyone else do that? Let me know in comments. And don't be afraid to say hello. If you have any questions, don't be afraid. I don't see anything, so if you are actually commenting and I'm not answering you, it's because there's nothing on my screen. I am looking every now and then. Okay. So when that's dry, we can kind of go over the tops with a white. You know, if you want to dot your I's and cross your T's, you would do a second coat of the red. Okay? We could put a little bow. I'm going to use ribbon to hold it up. All right. Super easy, super fun. You could put Fido's name there, right? You could do whatever you want. So he's pretty much done for now. I'm going to set him aside. That was easy. And then our other project was this gal. Now she's kind of half done. The background I can't do anything with yet because it's still drying and I don't want to rush it. It'll just peel up the paint. But this, okay, we did a little sample in the IOD Live to show you how I got this. And it's just one of my scrap blocks. It's like a hot mess. But look at the texture. So what this is I mixed, what did I do with my little cup? Oh, I put it away. I mixed Dixie Belle mud, you know, for this amount, I don't know, what looked like almost enough, okay? And then I added, well, pretty much enough, because I didn't add that much black to it. A lot of black will just make it black. So start with just like a drop of the black and keep adding your black until you get a gray that you like, if you want gray. Now, if you don't, we have it in black, we have it in white, and we have it in brown. And you can do any mix of those three colors, okay? So I made the gray, and then I took a putty knife, basically, right? And I puttied that on. And normally I like a little texture on my background, but because I don't have a lot on here, I didn't, between you and me, I didn't make a lot of the mud, so I needed it to cover because I didn't have time to revisit this. So, you know, working with what I had it go nice and smooth. Okay, and then I let it set up. I should have let it set up longer because this one, I actually dried it in my IOD video. You can go to our Facebook page and see that if you're watching on YouTube, or the website, or Iron Orchid Designs Facebook page. And you can see how I just in a minute like dried this, and we did the stamp, and the texture came out beautifully. So you don't want it so dry, obviously, that you're not going to be able to press into it, but enough where it's crusted. And then what I did, instead of dampening the stamp, I took and dusted the stamp with the cornstarch. That's what this white stuff is. All right. So we do have a little texture. I had to try it a couple times because it was lifting. All right. When it was too moist, I think it was lifting. So let it set up more, because this came out so perfect. And then let it dry. Okay, we don't want to cover this in paint when the water's still trying to get out of there. And so tomorrow I'll base coat this in white, and then I'm not sure we have enough texture to sand back, but I'll probably hit it with like a gray wax. I'll hit some of it so we can see that there's the gray, because why bother going through the process of doing the gray mud? In my case, had I done it, you know, more, if I had more time and had a nice texture like that, we could sand that back, and we'll do this tomorrow, okay? Where we sand this back and you can see what my intent was. So this, you know, and it'll be white basically with a little bit of the gray. And then the sides, I didn't prime this like the other one. I did prime like I told you. But because we have all this texture on here, and this is going to be probably black if not stained, I'm not worried about the bleed through there. And any bleed through that you would see is in the center, and that's where she's going. Again, from the same mold. We did her on the IOD Live. I showed how to do that decoupage. Actually, I can kind of finish that up. So, let's get our molding things out of the way. Whenever I'm putting away my molds, I want to make sure that, because this is a new clay, yeah, some of it was touching. I have a damp, not wet, just a lightly damp paper towel in there, so that when this is sealed, there's still some moisture in the bag, so it doesn't get, you know, very dried out. We have little bits that we can still use. We can put them in like the back of a mold, because I don't want to waste any clay. All right. And I put this so that it's not touching that damp paper towel, and I seal the bag. All right, try to get all the air out. And I put it in another baggie, wherever I did with that. So, get a little organized here. So that was the mud. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is, sorry. And I got my coffee, why not? Why not? Wherever you're watching from, please let us know, even on replay. All right, so she's super cute. We pressed her down and we did our pinching in. She might be a little lopsided. See if we can move her a little bit. And then again, those textures, we can add some of these textures back, okay? It's still wet, so we can do a little impression here and there. Right? Let's see. Is this too pointy maybe? Maybe at an angle. Or just add some details back. Okay. Just making them a little bit deeper where I saw there was some lines. All right. You don't have to be super critical with this, but you can't, it's best to do it while it's, you know, somewhat still wet. It's just, you know, moving it around and holding it in your hand. These details are so fine that when you're using the clay, you tend to lose some of these really, really fine details. And I'm not really pressing at all here. Okay. I think that's probably good. Okay, so for the decoupage, I showed how I separated the paper. Oh, this is kind of, see what's happening, but that's okay. We can tear this more. I didn't do it evenly, okay? And this, you know, you've seen Roy Cycled or Carmen Dahmer from Carmen's Curiosities do this with the cardboard. You just expose that the corrugated part, the ribs, okay? And I have it so it's not even, okay? And I have it so that some of it has got the flat part still there. Some of the paper is still on. See right here. The paper's still over the rib. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just adding a little more interest. See, like this? Okay? So, and then we base coated. So I had a brush and my cotton chalk mineral paint. We are Dixie Belle retailer as well as Iron Orchid Design. And I know I should have a little palette to put this in, but it's at the end of the thing anyway, so I'm only going to use what's left for crafting. There's going to be, you know, parts that are starting to dry up down there, or dirt particles. We try to minimize it, because if you don't, you can't get near the bottom without having problems. All right, so we just give it a base of white. You know, it can be fluff, it can be drop cloth, but if you start putting, I guess if you put a green, it would make that green really vivid, you know. This will make it pop more, giving a nice white background. Sometimes for decoupaging, you can paint your tissue paper, the back side of it white, and maybe we left the cardboard brown. We might try that tomorrow for a different look. But I'm not sure how that will work. We're going to try it. I know I've seen Roy Cycle do it, but, you know. I paid attention to a certain point, and I've seen it more than once, and then my mind goes. But I know where she like paints the back and she has it over like tissue, right? I mean, saran, and she'll have it wet and then have the paint mixed with the decoupage medium. So in my case, I used clear coat gloss. So you have like a bit of a white, or you go ahead and paint the back. You put it on, like, again, the saran, lay it print side down, paint the back of your tissue white and let it dry, and then go ahead and decoupage that on. Either way, I guess. This is just the top ply of a napkin, so this is very delicate. I don't think we're going to be trying to paint and then you know, put the paint in the medium and then try to rib this on. I don't think that's going to work for us. So we're going to dry that. Oh, I see I have some likes and some love. Thank you for that. I don't see any comments. I'm not ignoring you. But if you're being incognito, I get it. I hear it all the time. It surprises me how many times I hear people say, oh, I love your videos. And I'm like, who are you? You watch my videos? You know who you are. You know who you are. So anyways, assume that that's nice and dry, right? We're going to get a paper towel. And we're going to get our gloss. And again, I should put it in a palette, but I'm just going to use the lid. All right, and give it a good coat. And I separated this super easy the first time with the pink decoupage by taking a used blue tape piece and holding onto the, just like tack it onto the white part, you know, that we need to get rid of, because there's 2 or 3 plies for the napkins. And if you just pull on that, the pink one, it came right off. This green one, not so much. It was a little more difficult. But otherwise, I just take and I put the napkin with, you don't want to wet your lips, but, you know, just sort of, and usually this, that little bit of tension from your lips is enough moisture that it separates a little bit right at the edge, and then you could finish separating. So now we got a little bit of the gloss down, and it could be Mod Podge, it could be, you know, whatever. If you don't shop from me, it could be whatever your decoupage medium of choice is from your retailer, and then we're just gonna work this in a fashion, okay? It's like wallpaper, right? You want to start in one direction, but especially with this. Now, if this was more of a tissue, you could take like the end of or the side of like a skinny pencil or a pen and work that right in to the grooves, okay? Right, you might take saran wrap, because, you know, it's easy to use saran wrap when you're decoupaging because it doesn't stick to your medium like your hands would. And you just work your way through the ribs. It's a little patience, but it didn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. But I know some people just don't have the patience. I get it. I get it. Sorry about that. I didn't even take my Listener Barrel today. I totally forgot this morning. Our son slept over. And then I forgot that we're working on our shower, so I had to, at the last minute, bring all my stuff upstairs to take my shower this morning. Like, it was a hot mess this morning. Plus, you know, it's IODTV day, so I still get nervous, you guys. I don't know why. Because I feel like we're all friends, even though I don't really see you. I just, you know, So this one might be for the boy gingerbread man. At least it's green and not total pink, right? I got this from our friend / customer. She bought a bunch of napkins for decoupage, and she came over and brought me a few of each. So that was awesome. Because I don't get out much. So, maybe give it one more top coat, let that dry, and then another top coat, and then we can do our mold, okay, and our decorating. Actually, you want to kind of, I'm thinking of how I did it here. When this dries and it's all coated with our top coat and it's sealed, and we've trimmed the edges, right? You want to do your antiquing or liming or whatever it is that you're going to do to decorate the backboard. And then when that's all done and sealed, even with the glitter, right? Then put your mold on. So let that dry. So then I took, only because in the video I didn't have any dark wax or anything with me, but I did have Voodoo gel stain. So I took a puddle of that with a little bit of water on my brush and just kind of worked it lightly into the ribs, but it wasn't enough. So let me quickly grab, I have some dark wax left over that's water-based. Because I want to add glue. I don't want to put wax down. And this is what I have left over from cottage paints. So I want to use it up. You've seen me use this before. They call it an acrylic wax. Another brand that I used to carry, I used to do my sealing with a clear acrylic wax. It's really not a wax. It's just a thick acrylic top coat that you could rub on like a paste. So for this, we can use a little bit stiffer brush. And because it's sealed, I could have sealed it longer, but it didn't have time. We're just gonna kind of scratch that in. Not seal longer. I mean, I should have had a couple more coats. And then with a damp rag, we wipe back. Now, I think the next time I do this, I might try adding like a peony wash inside these little lines. And then maybe just the brown around afterwards where the mold is, right? That would be cute. Just kind of scratch it in there. Now, I can paint her, but because I'm probably going to do some wash and stuff over here, over her, I'm not going to want to do that tonight. All right. Okay. So we let that dry. I'm going to try and scratch in over my glitter. Okay. And for that, I'm just going to grab some of this because I don't want to contaminate and put glitter in my little wax. All right. So for this, we're going to dip it in, and then we're just going to try and scratch inside where that glitter is. We can always glitter again after, but you can definitely see where I took the time and glazed it better than the part that has the glitter done already. And that's pretty good, actually. No harm, no foul, right? And then we can add the glitter again. And all that's going to take is taking the brush, going over the tops of the ribs, whatever. You know, puddle it in if you want a big area of glitter. I just kind of was hoping to get the glitter to sit on some of the ribs on top. All right, so I just brushed on a little bit on the tops of the ribs, and then I took the diamond dust glitter and I just sprinkled it on over a piece of paper so we didn't waste, right? If you put and you sprinkle your glitter, and then when you tap it out, all the excess is going to go on your paper, and then you just take like make a little funnel and put it right back into and it's all good. You didn't waste anything, and it's not going into the ocean. Yay! So that's what will happen with the glitter. Let's get rid of that now because I'm going to make a hot mess. I already did. And let's see. We'll do a really light wash of a brown. Let me grab my paint again. I forgot to grab it while I was over here because I thought I had it earlier for my video and apparently I did not. And here it is. Okay. So I'm also going to grab that custom mix. Oh, you guys, the window. The window. I just got to clean up the back of those panes like I said I wanted to. But that putty, the glass putty, is old and decrepit and super hard to scrape off. So far, I've been able to scrape off a little bit more without damaging the stamp on the back side, which is good because I got all those molds now. So I'm hoping I can get through the rest without damaging my stamping. And where the transfers are on top, I'm not going to worry about it because you don't really see it. Right, so we have a little, we'll use this as a palette. And let's get a little brown. And maybe just a little bit, because we're going to do this like a wash. Even though she's not sealed, that's okay. This time, I always say when you're going to wash a paint on to seal it first, but I do want some of the brown to kind of saturate into her. So this time I'm actually going to say I'm not going to seal it. Okay, so let's just make like a nice little mix and make you know what, I think we got to add, don't you think we got to add like just a little bit of orange to this? Because gingerbread has like a tint to it, doesn't it? Of course I put away the Florida orange. I do have a little bit of flamingo. Oh, that's not, that is not going to work. No, that's just too bright. Hold on. It needs a little bit of orange. Let's see. And when I say a little bit, it's going to be like a drop. Like the end of a toothpick. Drop. Okay. Just the tiniest bit. Don't go all haywire with this, because then you're going to have to start all over again. Okay, so I have, okay. Okay, now let's do a little mix. That helped, but actually going to use a little bit more. Interesting. I would have thought that orange would have been like, hello, Dolly. Actually going to add more. Let's not mess up my gingerbread lady. Okay. And now that I'm doing this, I don't think I have enough paint. Ha! Go figure. Okay. Let's see how this dries. We can always add another coat, right? I think this is going to be good. I think. So we need another soft brush. And we're going to use a little water to help carry this down. This is pretty soft. She's a little crusted over. She's been set up for a little while, so that's good. Crusted over is never a good word to use, but okay. And we're going to have some water here. And let's just see what happens. Let's start with a leg, where it would be darker anyways, okay? Oh, this will be good actually, because when I go over it with the brown glaze, right, or the brown wash, this will warm up this cheerful orangey tan. Okay. You can let it be darker where it's meeting like the dress. And then water it out more as you work your way down the leg or the arm. We're just going to have to add white to make her little pearls come back to life, because just not going to be that careful. Okay. And then we can touch this up when I come in tomorrow, whatever needs to get a fixin'. Because you know there's going to be a fixin' of some sort. I'm not going to bother caulking this unless there's like a drastic lift on the side. But you know. She's going to be super stinking cute. Not just stinking cute, super stinking cute. Okie dokie. We gotta let that dry. Let's see. Oh, pink for the dress, right? But you know what? I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna seal this up Why, might you ask? Because I'm going to do a wash of the peony pink in there. So maybe we'll get to that tomorrow. I'm going to do a little bit more color around the edge to kind of give it like a depth. Kind of give like a raised effect. And then work it so it's lighter as we come up. And really don't want to be pressing on that. Okay? I'm just brushing my finger over the top. That's it. That's all I can do tonight, I think. We're going to let this dry, and then we're going to seal it up when I come in tomorrow, and we can play some more. But I also got to get the back of that window. The back of the window needs to get scraped. And that, my friend, I'll be able to post the pictures. I'm so in love with this. It's killing me that I don't have more of the woodland transfer for it, because it's amazing, really. And I don't, and it's not that I'm trying to toot my own horn. It's almost like I'm more surprised that I did it. Like I did that. I did that. All right, so that's it. I'm going to clean my messes and get home. This is going over this piece that will get painted white, and we'll either glaze or sand back down to some of that gray. So it'll be over the white. We're going to get some pink tied into her and some glitters. And then this guy, we'll work on him a little bit tomorrow. All right? Super easy, super fun project. Ready for the holidays. Yay! Again, if you see anything you like, we sell the paints, we sell the Iron Orchid Design products. All right, Dixie Belle Iron Orchid Design is all available in our Cape Cod store and online, Seaporium.com. And I appreciate you spending some time with me, and hopefully I jump on tomorrow. It would be in the afternoon if you're watching on YouTube or on our website. I'll try and give a little heads up on Facebook. I don't like to send out a lot of emails. The only way I can give you a heads up on my website is to send out an email, and I hate to do that. Only when I have something really important to say. That's it for tonight.